I know you've written an article about this, ranking all 32 starting running backs. Take me through that, and I tend to agree with you. Number one, Nick Chubb, and you had him ahead of Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. I tend to agree.
So again, Nick Chubb, even though he's never had again, last year was the highest volume he's ever had with 300 carries, a little over 300 carries, highest volume he's ever had. But he's still not scraping the value or the volume that Derrick Henry, that Josh Jacobs is scratching. So I think if we really do put him in the category of touches, he's gonna be a rushing title leader. I don't think he's ever going to get that opportunity to have that volume of touches. And I don't think as Browns fans, we should want our 29-year-old running back to have those volumes of carries either if you want to prolong his time in Cleveland and prolong his productivity. But as far as being light on his feet, his eyes are phenomenal. His contact balance is tremendous. Burst, explosiveness, long speed. I think he checks every single box. I think he'll get opportunities to catch the football more out of the backfield. I think on limited opportunities, he's shown he can. I think the hotter takes kind of come, but after one, I don't know if people would agree about Christian McCaffrey at two, but based on his sample of his time in San Francisco with an offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, who just knows how to scheme his weapons open. I mean, if you take his sample of what he did in San Francisco and expand that to a 17-game sample size, you're talking about 1,800 total yards, 18 touchdowns, a ton of catches. So I think McCaffrey's skill set is one of one, and then we get into the Derrick Henrys, the Aaron Jones, the Saquon Barkleys. So but again, I think Nick Chubb just checks every single box that you could hope for when you're talking about a running back.
I'm with you, and I think spreading things out like the Browns probably will, not playing as much too tight, I think that helps them. That's going to spread out the defense. It's going to take people out of the box. It could take linebackers off the field and put safeties onto the field. And I like my chances with Nick Chubb against pretty much any safety.
Yeah, I agree. And again, the data's out there that shows that he's the most effective runner out of gun of anybody in the NFL right now. He's averaging 6 yards a carry from gun run. Again, the bigger issue is with the offensive line. But again, with the full offseason where, week 12, you're not throwing in a bunch of RPOs and you're not throwing in a bunch of gun run that you haven't been running 11 weeks prior. Now you have all summer. Now you have all training camp. Now you have all preseason to work on the minute differences between gun run and under center wide zone. And so I think with all of that into consideration, like Nick Chubb's in for a big year again because you have more weapons outside. Let's just call it what it is as well. The wide receiver room wasn't good outside of Amari Cooper last year. Again, you had Donovan Peoples-Jones who almost had 1,000 yards, but outside of that, it was decimated. So you go get Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, Marquise Goodwin, who's going to play just a role, but like that's a role that needed filled. So you have role players, you have top end talent at wide receivers now. So I think the field's going to be wide open for Nick Chubb to have a little bit more room to dance.